Right now, millions of guys think they're protecting their money by keeping it in cash, but the ground under them is already shifting. According to recent Federal Reserve data, 55% of adults have emergency funds covering 3 months of expenses. That sounds responsible. It feels safe. But here's what nobody's talking about. That same cash is losing value every single day. And during a downturn, that quiet erosion accelerates. If you're the guy people depend on, this hits different. You're not gambling. You're not chasing returns. You're just trying to keep what you've built. But playing it too safe has become its own trap. The mistake isn't obvious. It actually feels prudent. And that's precisely why it's dangerous. Here's the harsh truth most people miss. Cash loses purchasing power to inflation relentlessly. In 2024, inflation ran at approximately 2.9%. That means every dollar you held lost nearly 3 cents of buying power. You didn't spend it. You didn't lose it in the market. But it still shrank. And when recession hits, smart money doesn't just sit idle. It moves. Right now, high-yield savings accounts pay around 4 to 4.35% APY. That's barely keeping pace with inflation. Traditional savings accounts average 0.39% nationally. Do the math on that. If you've got $20,000 sitting in a standard savings account earning 0.39%, you make $78 in a year. Meanwhile, inflation at 2.9% cost you $580 in purchasing power. Net loss of $502, just for playing it safe. Most guys don't see it happening. The account balance stays the same. $78 gets added. It looks stable, but groceries cost more. Gas costs more. Everything costs more. Your $20,000 buys less than it did 12 months ago. And the gap widens every year you let it sit. Here's where it gets worse during recession. When the economy contracts, inflation doesn't always disappear. Sometimes it persists. Other times it spikes from supply chain disruptions. Either way, holding excess cash without a plan becomes a slow bleed. The Federal Reserve reported that even a small emergency fund of $2,000 boosts financial well-being by more than 20%. But beyond your emergency fund, parking everything in cash makes you a sitting target. The window to position yourself is closing faster than most people realize. Interest rates are already dropping. The Fed cut rates multiple times in 2024. High-yield savings rates that were at 5% are now at 4 to 4.35%. When recession hits fully, those rates will fall further. The guys who waited too long will scramble. The guys who moved early will be positioned. So what's the actual move here? First, you absolutely need liquid emergency savings. 3 to 6 months of expenses minimum. If you're a sole earner or work in a volatile industry, push it to 6 to 12 months. That cash sits in a high-yield savings account earning the best rate you can find. This is your foundation. Don't touch it unless it's an actual emergency. But once that foundation is built, holding more cash becomes dead weight. Inflation eats it. Opportunity cost compounds. You need assets that hold value or generate income when everything else is falling apart. That doesn't mean gambling on individual stocks. It means strategic allocation based on what historically performs when times get tough. Defensive sectors tend to hold up during downturns. Consumer staples, healthcare, utilities. People still need groceries, medicine, electricity. Companies in these sectors often pay steady dividends. Those dividend payments keep coming even when stock prices fluctuate. That's income you can reinvest or use to cover expenses. Bonds become more attractive when recession looms. As the Fed cuts rates to stimulate the economy, bond prices typically rise, locking in longer maturity bonds before those cuts can provide stable returns. Government bonds are backed by the full faith and credit of the United States. Corporate bonds from high-quality companies also offer income with lower volatility than stocks. Real estate investment trusts can provide another layer. REITs invest in essential properties like apartments, healthcare facilities, warehouses. These continue generating rental income even in weak economies. The key is selecting REITs focused on necessities, not luxury properties that empty out during hard times. Here's a concrete example of how this plays out. Say you've got $50,000 in total savings. You put $15,000 in a high-yield savings account as your emergency fund. That's 3 to 6 months of expenses for most people. That money earns 4% APY. It's liquid. It's accessible within days. That's your safety net. The remaining $35,000 gets strategically allocated. Maybe $10,000 goes into a bond fund or individual treasury bonds. Another $15,000 goes into dividend-paying stocks in defensive sectors. The final $10,000 goes into a diversified REIT or other income-generating assets. None of this is locked away for decades. You can access it if you truly need to, but it's positioned to generate income and hold value better than cash sitting idle. Now compare that to keeping all $50,000 in a traditional savings account at 0.39% APY. After 1 year, you've earned $195 in interest. Inflation at 2.9% cost you $1,450 in purchasing power. Your net loss is $1,255. You did nothing wrong by most standards, you just got quietly eroded. The guys who allocate strategically are earning dividend income. They're seeing bond values appreciate as rates drop. They're collecting rental income from REITs. When recession hits and stock prices fall, they're buying more shares at discounted prices with their dividend income. They're not panicking. They're executing a plan they set up when things were still calm. Here's the mistake to avoid at all costs. Don't wait until recession is officially declared to make moves. By the time news anchors are talking about it daily, the market has already priced it in. Stock prices have already fallen. Bond prices have already adjusted. The window for positioning has closed. The guys who waited are now selling at the bottom or watching cash lose value while opportunities slip past. Another critical mistake is overreacting and dumping all your cash into investments without maintaining adequate emergency reserves. If you lose your job and have no liquid savings, you'll be forced to sell investments at the worst possible time, locking in losses, creating a spiral. The emergency fund isn't optional. It's the foundation that lets you weather storms without destroying your long-term position. The final mistake is assuming safety equals wisdom. Keeping all your money in cash feels responsible. It feels mature. But it's actually just slow-motion loss. Inflation is a guarantee. Market returns are not. But historical data shows that diversified portfolios recover from recessions. Cash eroded by inflation does not recover. Once that purchasing power is gone, it's gone. Here's what you need to internalize right now. The recession playbook isn't about avoiding risk entirely. It's about managing risk intelligently. Cash for emergencies is smart. Excess cash beyond emergencies is a slow bleed. Strategic allocation into defensive assets, income-generating investments, and inflation-resistant holdings is the move smart money makes quietly. You've got a narrow window. Rates are falling. Opportunities are shifting. The guys who act while things are still relatively stable will be positioned when chaos hits. The guys who wait for perfect clarity will miss the window entirely, and in 5 years they'll wonder why their cash bought less despite them doing everything quote-unquote right. So here's the takeaway. Build your emergency fund in a high-yield savings account. Get that foundation rock solid. Then strategically allocate everything beyond that into assets that generate income and resist inflation. Don't chase returns. Don't speculate. Just position yourself like the guys who quietly protect wealth during uncertainty. Because playing it too safe has become the riskiest move of all. If this breakdown helped you see the blind spot, hit subscribe so you don't miss the next one. We're covering the moves most guys miss until it's too late. This is educational content, not financial advice. Always do your own research and consider consulting with a qualified financial professional before making investment decisions.